Everyone wants to build a second income, but most people think they don't have the time. But what if I told you that is simply not true? In this video, I'm gonna walk you through a simple system that lets you build a second income even if you're short on time. And if you don't know me, my name's Matthew Lepre, and over the past few years, I've helped thousands of students build a second income with ecom. But first, if you want access to a free ecom course, then click the link in the video description. I'll show you the exact system that my students use to go from zero to their first 10K months, even if you're working full-time. After coaching thousands of students, I've noticed something. New store owners always have the same issue. They think they don't have enough time. But here's what I've discovered. You are wasting at least 20 hours every single week without even realizing it. I want you to think of your time like a bucket that gets filled up every single day. You wake up with 24 hours in that bucket, and by the end of the day, it's always empty. You've got no time to spend on your store, so you tell yourself, I'll just do it when I have more time. But here's the truth. The bucket isn't empty. It's full every single morning. Your time just leaks out through dozens of tiny holes that you don't even notice. So let me show you exactly what I mean. First up, you have the morning scroll. You wake up and the very first thing you do is you check your phone. You tell yourself you're just checking your notifications, but 15 minutes disappears before you even get out of bed. Then you have your commute. You're in the car or on the train, you're scrolling social media, listening to music, just kind of zoning out. That could be learning time. You could be planning your business. Instead, another 30 to 45 minutes are just gone. Then there's your lunch break. You eat for 15 minutes and then what? You scroll TikTok, watch YouTube, you browse Reddit, and another 30 to 45 minutes just leak out. Hole number 4, after work wind down. You get home from work and you're tired, so you tell yourself, I just need to decompress for a minute. You sit on the couch, open your phone, and somehow an hour is gone. Hole number 5, evening TV/streaming. Finally, after dinner, you turn on Netflix or YouTube. Just one more episode turns into 3, or you watch random YouTube videos that don't really teach you anything. 2 to 3 hours vanished. So let's do the math on this. Between the morning scroll, the commute, lunch, winding down, and evening TV, that's 5 hours and 15 minutes in just one day. Multiply that by 5 working days, and you have lost over 26 hours per week. And that's almost a full-time job worth of time. A study by Rescue Time found the average person spends 3.25 hours per day on their phone. And YouTube's own data shows the average user watches 48 minutes of YouTube every single day. Your bucket wasn't empty, it was full every single day. But by the end of each day, it had leaked through holes you didn't even see. Not through big obvious leaks that you'd notice and fixed, but through dozens of tiny leaks that seemed insignificant in the moment. And you wonder why you never have time to build that second income. The time is there. It has always been there. You just didn't realize where it was going. You weren't paying attention to the leaks. So here's what you need to do. For the next, let's say 3 days, track every single leak. Not to judge yourself, not to feel guilty, but to see exactly where your bucket is draining. One simple way is to use an app like Stay Free, which will track all the time that you spend on your phone. Or just use a simple piece of paper if you want and write down what you're doing every single hour. Track when you wake up, track when you scroll, when you zone out, when you watch TV. Just track everything you do for 3 days. And most people won't do this because they're afraid of what they'll find. But the ones who do are usually shocked. On average, my students find around 15 hours of leak time every week. Time that they didn't know they were losing. And once you see the leaks, you can plug them. You can redirect just 10 hours of that leak time into building your second income. You don't need more time. You just need to stop the leaks and then redirect what you already have. That's the fastest way to start. Now that you know where your time is going, how do you actually use that time to build your second income? So here's the thing, even if you just block out 5 hours a week, then that's 20 hours a month. And in 20 hours a month, you could research and test 3 to 5 products. You could set up a complete Shopify store. You could create and launch your first ad campaigns and start seeing your first sales. That is enough to build a store that's doing $2,000 per month. And you're not trying to find 40 hours a week. What we're doing is just redirecting 5 hours that you're already wasting. So how do you actually find those 5 hours? Well, you already know where you're wasting time because you tracked it. All that scrolling, TV, and hours just disappearing. So that's where your 5 hours are. This is what I call the 5-hour freedom block. Here's how it works. Go back through your daily calendar, look at tomorrow and this week. Where can you carve out that time? Maybe it's a Monday night instead of watching Netflix. Maybe it's a Wednesday morning before you start work. Or maybe it's a Sunday afternoon. Just remember, you're not looking for extra time. You're looking at time you're already spending on nothing productive. So open your calendar right now and then schedule that time in. But here's where most people mess up. They spend those hours on the wrong activities. Activities that feel productive but don't actually generate income. And that's what I want to show you next. Think about building a second income sort of like building a fire. When you're trying to start a fire, there are basically 2 types of wood that you can work with. First, you have kindling. These are the small dry twigs that catch fire immediately. They burn hot and fast, and they get the fire started pretty quickly. Without the kindling, you can work for hours and never get a flame. Then you have logs. These are the big pieces of wood that burn slow and steady. They're what keeps the fire going long term, but you can't light them first. They need the kindling to get them started. So if you only stack logs, you'll never get a fire going. And most people trying to build a second income are literally trying to light the logs first. They're focused on building a massive email list, or creating the perfect brand identity, or learning all these advanced marketing strategies. And sure, these are valuable things eventually, but you can't light them first. You need kindling activities, the things that generate revenue fast. When Dollar Shave Club launched in 2011, the founder, Michael Dubin, didn't build a massive brand first. He started with a basic website. He got 1,200 customers to validate the demand, and then he made one Facebook ad. And that video got 12,000 orders in 48 hours and crashed the entire website. Once they had proof that people would buy razors online, they then scaled everything else. And 5 years later, they had a $1 billion acquisition. That's the pattern. Light the kindling first, get revenue, and then add the logs on. So in week 1, you find a product, you make a basic store, and then create some simple ads. Then in week 2, you launch those ads, you drive the traffic to your store, and then you try to get those first sales. And by week 3, if this product works, then you scale it. If it doesn't work, you just test another one. And by week 4, you're making revenue. Now you have a fire going. Now you can add logs. Build that email list because you have traffic to capture. Perfect your brand because you know what resonates with your customers. Create content because you have proof of what people want. Now you understand that you have way more time than you think and exactly how to use it to build a second income fast. YouTube have this new crazy algorithm where they know exactly what video you want to watch next based on AI and all your viewing behaviors. And AI says this video is the best video for you. It's different for everyone right now. So check this video out and I bet you're going to get a lot of value.